What do they want to teach today? How you are. That's how you always will. No, really? Okay. They just said how you are is how you always will be. What does this mean? Because we have a choice in every single moment to be how we are. Are you kidding? No, we're not kidding. Okay. So this is what they're talking about. In every moment, in every minute, in every second, we have a choice to receive things. How you are is always how you will be. Meaning, and it's a very backwards way of saying it, guys, meaning every minute is a new minute to choose how you will be. And this is what that would look like. Say we have a lot of tunes, meaning vibrations coming from us. We may be having emotional vibrations. We may be having vibrations left over from an experience we just had. We might be having vibrations from other things that we have absorbed. You know, for example, me, I absorb other people's shit a lot. In fact, I had a migraine for 3 days last week because I went to Kentucky and absorbed a lot of energy because I made a mistake of dropping all my, anyway, and I didn't clear it in time. And if I get too much energy, I'll get a migraine. That's just me. It took me a long damn time to learn that too. Anyway, what they're talking about is if you have a reaction or interaction with a human being, you have a choice in every moment on which energy you're going to react to. That's what they mean by how you will be. How you are is how you always will be. And if you, I know it doesn't sound like that's what they mean, but this is what they're showing me. If you choose to be honest with yourself and, you know, let people know, like, I'm cross today, I have no energy, whatever it is, you can be honest with them and honest with you, or you can react in a negative way. I tend to have very little patience when I'm exhausted or tired or in pain. That's just me. I don't know if it's you, but I'll warn people ahead of time. I'll let them know that I'm not doing well or how much energy I have. And that is a kindness. That's how you will be. And so you're going to let people understand where you are in your energy meter, where you are in your interaction meter. And that's how you are and how you will be. I'm going to have to ask them to rephrase that in a way that's easier for people to apprehend, because it doesn't sound like, it sounds like, you know, whatever you did in the past is going to haunt you forever. And that's not what they mean at all. They mean that you have every minute to choose how you will be because of how you are, how you enter that moment. So every moment we are a person, and how we choose to interact with another person is how we are inside. Do you get it? That's how we will be. Now, people reflect what energy they're getting from each other. You can't just point to somebody and say, you can't point to somebody and say, you're doing this to me. You can only say that I am feeling because I'm receiving. That's a truer answer. And Christina is talking about, even though we do our healing, will PTSD follow us? No, that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about this each moment where you have your huge energy, whether you've healed it or not. If you've healed it, then the energy isn't there. But if you haven't healed it, then the tune is there. And sometimes there's a lot of incomplete healings, not going all the way to the root. And I find that quite often. Like, I found that myself. When I was looking at healing stuff and go, well, I already dealt with it. No, I dealt with one layer of it. It's exactly like cleaning the kitchen and just doing the dishes and not wiping the counters. Oh, and then there's another layer, wiping the cabinets. Oh, there's another layer, sweeping the floor. Oh, there's another layer, mopping the floor. Do you get it? There's just there's another layer. So what my guides are talking about is to be honest with yourself, where you are in the interaction. Don't lie to the people you're talking to, and don't lie to yourself. Just be super honest about how you are. So, for example, when I had a migraine, how I was don't effing come near me. And I let everybody know. And that was fair. Like, I'm in pain, please don't come near me. And you don't have to be ugly. You don't have to do anything. So let's change that interaction to a child. You come in and you're tired, and your children have been home, say these are teenagers, and they come right at you and they want something. And you simply have to say, how I am is I need a second. I love you and I want to hear from you, but I need a second. Instead of going, do you see? Because that's going to be your reaction. Is, I need protection. I need to armor up. I need to do this. But instead, it's how I am, is how I'm going to be with you. Do you get it? The guide said, yes, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's what we want to talk about. We want people to learn to be honest with their energy level and their vibration level. And sometimes if you know you've had a bad day at work, stop before you get to the house, do some square breathing, do some grounding exercises, do something to calm yourself before you unload it on somebody else. That is the kindness that you can do for the people that you love. Because so often, this is what the guides are talking about, so often we feel safe with the people we love to unload and dump on them. And they're asking us not to be that way to people, even though it's something that we might have learned from our parents, because it's really common. I learned it from my parents. I had silent generation parents. I am a boomer. Believe it or not, I'm a boomer. And we need to learn how to be honest with who we are. And that's part of gentle parenting. And I'm not talking about lack of leadership, gentle parenting. What the guides are talking about is like, you need to teach your child how they're feeling and then learn how to handle how they're feeling. Don't expect them to know how. If you don't know how, then they don't know how. And they learn everything from you. So if the kids come wanting to dump on you, and say they're tiny and they come screaming at you because you've been gone, because this happens, they want to dump all their energy on you. That is when it's very handy to get your energy clear before you get in the house, so you don't push your kid away. How many people in Gen X are pushed away? All of us. All of them. Because I'm like right on the cusp. I'm still a boomer, but Gen X didn't start until the 60s, and I was born in the 50s. So do you get it? Okay, is there anything else you guys want to say? Nope, you got it. You got it. It was just something that they wanted you to understand. That's the lesson for today, is being responsible for where you are, how you are. How you are is how you will be. See, now it makes sense. God. Guys, wow. What a long way around that tree. Okay, Halen is asking, hi and thank you. I'm in a big transition right now with work and love, and I have no idea what my next steps are. I keep feeling like something is coming or going to happen. Do your guides have any advice for me right now in regards to my work and my love life? Yes. For one thing, this is what they're saying, Halen. You're in, I need to make it happen mode. I am looking to do mode. And they're asking you not to do forward. They want you to do now, do present. They're going back to the bathroom again. Oh my God, pee here now. They're talking about you can't act in the future. You have to act in the now. And they want you to this is your patience learning time. And in your particular case, there are some things that have not been, the pyramid bottom is not completely fixed for you. There are some bricks missing. And so if you try to build up, the thing's going to fall down again. Again, they said. Like it fell down before. So please work on the pyramid, work on the here now. how I am so I can be. I hope that helps. Kat is saying, this is a test message. Yes, very good. Christina says, now that I quit my job as requested by my guides, what is next for me? I'm freaking out trying to follow the divine guidance. Oh, boo boo. Did you guys really say that? Yes. Ooh, boo boo. They said, first thing you need to do is to stop and breathe, 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 breathe. Because you are in the full freak out mode. Like, what the fuck did I just do? What the fuck did I just do? And then you're going to be in the full, they said there are many frameworks, but they like the framework of thank you so much for giving me blank, and then feeling the full measure of having blank. So thank you so much for giving me a way to create abundance in my life that pleases me, fulfills me, and whatever. You just, that is where you are right now. And then inspired action instead of action from what the fuck is what they're saying, Christina. Not action from anything else, just I am so happy and grateful now that I have discovered. And then you network, you tell your friends, you tell the interwebs, I have these talents and I would love to use them in this way or in a way that is useful. I've seen people talk about their job experiences and say that they need a job, a remote job or whatever on social media, and 1001, 1002, the universe steps in and gives them something. So what the guides are saying is, I am so happy and grateful now that I have. And then create that truth in your heart and then rejoice it and then trust fall into it. Because remember, do you really want me to say that? Divine guidance can be painful as well as pleasurable because humans learn through pain. If humans could learn through pleasure, there would be much more pleasure in this world. I'm sorry I had to say that. Okay. Frida is asking, hi, love. I'm wondering if the guides could please inform me on what the heck is going on with me and my finances. What am I to do as I know I'm made of money? There's a gap. You don't know how to step through the gap. Alas, where is it? It comes in and it goes out. Yeah, there's a root gap. It's the gap. They're talking about that. You are doing the right thing career-wise, but the gap is in the root, is your grounding and root. And this is what they're saying. There is a, oh, I gotta sneeze. Oh, whoa. There is there's a gap in your root, and it's part of a core belief. It's a generational core belief of working hard equals money. And, what goes around comes around, and it can't win for losing. And it's old news for you, even though you've worked at it. They said there's a root gap. And if you get curious in meditation and get curious either with a helper or in guided meditation, then please, get curious about that. I hope that helps. But it's a root thing. Okay. And also, this is just a reminder that if you want a question answered, do it in the Q&A, because if it's in the chat is for like reactions and that kind of thing. Although Q&A can be for that too. But I'm going to only answer a question in Q&A, and here's why. Because the Q&A sits still. And that way I'll know how many I've answered and how many I haven't. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Carmen is asking, hello, Sally. Am I allowed to work with energy? Everyone is allowed, they said. I am unclear about the type of work I'm meant to do. I was starting to work with it and something happened. I think I have started to perceive past life images. Oh, you got scared. Oh, oh, okay. This is what they want to say. Remember that you are a storybook. And just because you're scanning somebody else's story doesn't mean there won't be a sympathetic vibration within you. They want to say that again. Everybody has a vibration. Do you think you're immune to feeling the vibrations if you're receiving them? So here's two things you can do. Number one, ground yourself more fully and create and don't go so deeply into another human being. It's a learning process. For you, it's a learning process. Okay? Just because you scratching my back, just because you had an unpleasant experience does not mean that it's not what you're meant to do. All humans can work with it. And if you're drawn to it, that means it's right for you. And in your particular case, you have healing that needs to heal. And so the clients that come to you and the people that work with you are going to have similar issues. We attract who we are. And so they will vibrate stuff. And so clearly there's things that, oh gosh, we're always a work in progress. I can't say that we're ever done. But in your particular case, just understand you are feeling the symptoms of sympathetic vibrations and be grateful and thankful for the gift that of showing you where your triggers are. All right. I hope that helps. Cat B is asking, I am struggling mightily with my life's direction. I am fortunate to be gifted and have callings. Yeah, Master of None, you must be a 3-5 in human design in several areas, and I am unsure in which to pursue seriously. I'm leaning towards telling my life story in a book, lecture format. Is this best use of my time? I said, nope. It's a good use of your time for, okay, this is what they say. If you're telling your life story just to tell your life story, to get it out of you, that's one thing. But if you're using that as a way to uplift others, that's a different thing entirely. If you're using it as a way to, because your purpose, I'm checking to see whether your guides want me to tell you. They're right on the edge of this. I'll just say it's in the area of learning about yourself is number one, which you probably figured out. But number two, it's about finding things that please you. And then number three, it's about using that which pleases you to uplift others. I hope that makes sense. So in your case, do yes and. Yes and. Does this please me? And how does this uplift me or others? Because you always want to be uplifting. And I don't mean, I can't do anything fun for myself unless I consider somebody else. That is not what they're talking about. They're talking about if this is a purpose in my life and I'm going to write a book, there must be a higher overarching umbrella in everything I do. Like I will do this to why, to what purpose, and then what? So you can do something and then say, and then what? What am I looking for? Okay, I hope that helps. Catherine is asking, my daughter wants to move to Arizona. Your daughter is an adult, so I'm going to go on to the question, but I can't ask it about her. I miss my family, but I also don't want to leave my current home and go where I won't have or can't afford to find a new place to live. I feel extremely grumpy about this. Okay, Catherine, if you don't want to go, then don't go. And I'm going to give you the exact thing that this is what my guides tell me. I'm sorry. Do it, don't do it. Just don't bitch about it. Be happy with your decision. I know that doesn't help you, I know that doesn't help you in the moment, but here's the thing. If you are looking for what's worse in your life, going somewhere where you expect, remember, you're projecting that I'm not going to have a good time and this isn't going to work for me, but I'm only going because, as a sacrifice, or I'm going to create a life here. Do you see what I mean? Do it, don't do it. Just don't bitch about your decision. Go into your decision wholehearted, open-minded, open-hearted, instead of looking for, I don't want to do this, so I have to do that. You're putting yourself in a position that you don't have a choice. You have a choice. You have all the choices in the world. You just have to decide which choice that is. Okay? I hope that helps. And let's see, Cat B has a reaction. Thank you and the guides for your input and the generosity of your time and efforts. Blessings. So I guess she must have liked that. And as a reminder, everyone, please ask your questions in the Q&A. And I will try to get to them. I can stay on for as long as I have energy, and then I will have to go. Okay, Mercedes is, hi, love. Not sure if my current partner is the one. If you have to ask, we all know if you have to ask. He is in general a very loving man, but sometimes one day to another, he is very detached. But when I ask what he's up, oh, this is a communication issue. Mercedes, this is about you being needy. I'm sorry, but it is. I remember, don't ask the guides questions unless you actually want the truth. Number one, he doesn't communicate his emotions well, and you are very needy to have you need his energy. So there's two things that need to happen. If you don't figure out how to support your own energy without needing somebody else's, you will suck every partner dry. This is a pattern you need to discover. Okay, it's happened before, it will happen again. All right. So two things need to happen. Number one, your partner needs to learn how to discuss emotions, and how you are is how you are going to be. Remember, how to be rather than withdrawing. And number two, you need to learn how to sustain your own energy without needing to feed off others. And how does one learn that? Being satisfied with yourself and not needing approval from others is one. Finding ways to create joy in your life without being dependent on the input of somebody else. Having a way to have your emotions and understand them and not be afraid of them and have to diffuse them. It's all part of growing up. It's the spiritual level of one, where life is coming at me, versus two, I have control over my life, versus three, I am with my life, I flow with my life, or four, I am life. Do you get it? It's those levels. How I am is how I am. That's level 4. I hope this makes sense to you, but this is what the guides are saying. In your particular case, two things need to happen. Whether or not that partner is yours and he is part of you, you both vibrate at a similar uneven way, which is why when the on and off again hits, you're not happy. Like if you weren't available to him, he would feel bad. So it's a dual purpose, learning how to be honest and open. And it's much harder for guys. Just not gonna lie, it's harder. So you're either in danger of feeling neglected, or it's hard to explain. Interpersonal, remember how you are. So interpersonal relationships like this, stopping and being, owning how you feel is the most important thing for you to do. Like, I feel disconnected, or I feel uncertain, or I feel exhausted, or I feel used, or I feel any of these things. Just be honest with how you are feeling, and then see how much of it is his responsibility and how much of it is yours. I hope this helps. And Eileen is asking, been working on checking in with myself as a Gen X. Yes, it's very hard and it feels so new. Seems like my ego keeps getting in the way, or subconscious blocks. Do the guides have any tips? Yeah. Okay, here's the deal, guys. If you were raised in a way where feelings were not allowed, I think is the best way. Your opinion is not necessary or wanted, and your existence was not important. One learns just to exist and then learns to do performative work. That's what that is. That's performative. You learn to do in order to receive. That's just the main teaching of that. And it's a wonderful Judeo-Christian work ethic way to raise children. You do, and then you will please us and gain our notice. If you are able to understand that approval is not contingent upon doing, that is your first step. That you can approve of yourself whether or not you're doing something. You have value simply because you take breath. And it's difficult, and ego is here to keep you alive. Sorry. That's the point of ego. It's here to guard you, keep you alive, protect you. And it gets in the way, you're right. And so in your particular case, start with the basics. Am I okay? It's a yes, no. Am I okay? And if the answer is no, get curious and say, what's not okay? And you can have a list of things to ask. You can have a list of things to ask. What's not okay? So I'm hungry. Oh, I can eat. Oh, I forgot to drink water today. Believe it or not, food and water is like a really basic thing. I'm holding my breath. I need to remember to straighten my spine. God, you know, if you ever catch yourself doing all of a sudden a sighing breath, you've been holding your breath. Okay. Just check in with the basics and then move to what is the predominant vibrational emotion right now? Is it something that I want or believe, or is it the truth? Do you see, there are layers. It's triage. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Carol is asking, what can I do to heal my body? Feed it, water it, breathe. Let go of emotions. Those are the basics. Make sure you feed your body healthy food, water it. See this? I drank 3.5 or 4 of these yesterday because it was so hot. But I'm if you know the doshas, I'm pitta. And so I need water anyway. That's just me. I run hot. So as long as you carry, the basics of the body, because the body is amazing at healing itself. Now, the next layer is, what am I thinking? Am I thinking negative thoughts, especially about my body? It doesn't help. It doesn't help. So this is what the guides are saying about that. If you can learn to put your trash out, and they said, the trash. The trash is, I am so. Or I hate blank. Or any of the judgmental narrations. Put that trash out. That is so helpful. Then the next layer is beliefs. What do I truly believe about myself? And you release that. Because it's amazing how hard we can be on ourselves. Our brain is cruel. Our brain is cruel. And it can torment us. Humans are the only ones who can walk themselves to death. Literally. Humans are the only ones who let their minds kill them. And so, in your case, they want you to start, don't gaslight yourself, be honest, and then ask yourself, do I truly believe that? And if in your heart of hearts you don't, then you apologize and say, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to say that. And then the next layer is seeing that life is for you. It doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. And then your body becomes healthy. I hope that helps. All right. I had a panic attack yesterday. This is for Tiffany. She says, I had a panic attack yesterday. And here's what panic attacks are, especially in your case. In your case, panic attacks are, I don't want to face something that I am absolutely fucking terrified of happening. And it comes out like that. And that's it. That's what your panic attack is about. So instead of facing the one thing you're terrified about, your body's going to create this other thing that you're terrified about. So whatever it is you're terrified about, talk to yourself about it. And they're suggesting getting very realistic. If it's bad and you don't want it to happen, love yourself through it. If it's, something that's actually happening, or you're afraid that it'll happen, then you understand that worrying about something is literally praying for it to happen. Because whatever you think about with great emotion, negative or positive, is brought to you. The universe doesn't know the difference between negative and positive. The law of attraction, no, it has no clue. So how can you think you can manifest something by thinking positively for 10 minutes a day, if that? And then the other 23 hours and 50 minutes, you're going. So in your case, Tiffany, they're saying there's something that you're absolutely fucking terrified about. And they're saying it just walk around and look at it and say, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. If you are not in, yes, there are dangers to the point where you die. I get it. And if that's the case, take action and make yourself live. And if that's not the case, then ask your adrenals to please stand down. Okay? Danielle says, Danielle, I'm so sorry that guides having advice. Those questions are hard. I'm going to try though. Because they're so wide open. My next step in my spiritual career and mastering my finances. In your case, I'll just focus on finances. And with the issue of your finances, you are not looking at them in the whole. You're looking at them as, life coming at you. So if you look at it from the way of a bucket, and I know I'm going to pour this into my bucket, you're forgetting to take the piece that feeds you out first. That's the part you're forgetting. So they want you to take the piece that feeds you out, take out that, the old pay yourself first thing. You're forgetting to do that. Start there. And that will help a lot. Alexandra is asking, hello there. I'm not able to work in the society. It's hard to find my way. Oh, you're super ungrounded, is what they're saying. You're still in a state of being overwhelmed by things coming at you. It's a lost feeling of being unsafe. And they're done. They'll have the t-shirt. Trust me. There's two things that you can do, Alexandra. First, look into your human design and work with it. So if you've never heard of human design, that is a rabbit hole you are going to dive in deep. Work with it. I have a feeling that you're either a projector or a reflector. And if you're not, then you're an out of whack generator. Okay. Number two, switch yourself to the realization that life is for you. It's not coming at you. It is here to create for you. And you're co-creating. You are co-creating. So when you create a belief, a love, a strong emotion about a situation, a fear, then the universe is co-creating with you. Or if you just, be careful what you ask for, because you will get it. You know that saying, be careful what you ask for, because you'll get it. So that is the answer that they have for that, for you on that. Okay. And Christina, I already answered one for you, so I'm going to go to the next one and I'll see if I can come back. Valerie says, will I ever find a life partner? Boo-boo, you don't want that answer because you are your life partner. You're just looking for another human being. And there's a push-pull in you, they said. Valerie, they said there's a push-pull. It's too many I don't wants and not enough I wants. And there's too many I don't have good boundaries or barriers. So therefore, I have to push so much away. And so they say, work on yourself and your boundaries and your value, your worth. And they said this is back to the Gen X answer. If you were listening to it, it's back to that. Go to that level of this. Okay. I hope that helps. Eileen said, thank you. Reparenting at its finest. Oh, it was Eileen's question. Yes. The Gen X. Paulina is asking, and I'm about running out of energy. I'm so sorry. Paulina is asking, hi, Sally and the guides. One subject that I study in uni is fine arts, and I feel really passionate about it, and I try to claim my space there. Is this the pursuit, fine arts, connected to my purpose? And guides advice for my artwork for the annual group show. I feel unsure. Okay, here's what they're talking about for you. Do I have to say that? When your heart is singing, you don't feel the passage of time. If you are doing art during this, then you are in your passion. Then you are in your love. And do not worry how it is received by others. Holding firm to how your truth is the best way to create your art. You are concerned about pleasing others. I told you guys, be careful what the guides are going to say. You're concerned about pleasing others and are in danger of altering your passion to fit into the other people's mold, which will diminish and dim your light. If you love what you do, then dive in fully, without fear and without reservation. I hope that helps. That's kind of emotional. It's very emotional. Carmen asks, is there a way to re-watch this? There's a lot of wisdom in every answer. Why, yes. If you go to the chat and scroll all the way up to the to the one for me, there is a link to the free Facebook group, and it's for the replays. It's Facebook group /Blissful Life Academy. Okay. All right, now I have a little bit of energy and I'll go back and answer the Christine. Expanding on the Cat B question. How do we know if Divine wants us to share our life story? Only if you have time. Okay. All right. You don't. You don't. You can only feel it like the passion, like Paulina is feeling her passion with her art. Paulina can get to the point where if she doesn't get the art out of her, it feels almost like pressure. The art is inside and it wants to come out. That is divine. That is creating. Do I have to say that? One can never be perfectly sure about anything in life. The only thing you can be sure of is whether it pleases you or not, whether or not it lifts your soul, whether or not it makes your heart soar. Okay? Which is why they told me a long time ago, always choose what makes your heart soar. And that's it. Always choose what makes your heart soar when there's a choice. And you'll never go wrong. Unless, of course, you're lying to yourself about it. So sorry. Oh my goodness. Thanks, y'all. I will edit this to the best of my ability, cut the dead air and the fumbling around off the front, and then put it in the Facebook group. And I want to remind you that I do have the Empath Survival Kit. It's a $37 bunch of guided meditations that you can use to ground yourself and heal yourself and clear the stuff on a daily, weekly, or monthly. I created that for y'all. And it's inexpensive and it really does work. I use these tools myself all the time. I really do. And it's a way for you to gain entry into this part of you. Okay? Check it out. The link is in the chat. Thanks, guys. And now I'm going to go be with my husband on Father's Day. Bye, y'all. Take care.